Hey y'all, it's me. I just want to show y'all what I'm up to, what the plans are. I've shown you little bits and pieces, but first of all, let me show you this. This bed I will finish today. I've got to rake down my dirt and move a few things around. Hugh brought me a load of compost over. I'm going to put compost and then my black plastic, and then I'll top it all off with some mulch so that it doesn't struggle with the heat, because we still have some heat. But I got all of my roses, or all of my roses and Aaron and Corey's roses moved. So there's 5 in this bed now. There and there and those 2, and then of course the yellow rose of Texas back there. Let me show you this guy. I mean, he's impressive, and he's painful. This one's been here for years and years and years. I had one over from this one. I had one over at our home in Canton. But look at those. I mean, that's just painful. Believe me. And they spread underground, so it spreads quite a bit. But they're all fine. They will struggle just a little bit, but it's fall of the year. It's a good time to move them. And when the leaves die down a little bit, I'll probably just trim them all back to the ground. I asked Aaron if he wants his trimmed back. I think they just do better in the spring when they come up fresh. But anyway, so that's this. And over here, up against this well, this little well house, were all of these. And some years ago, before I had put down the brown ground cover, and Hugh and I had planted a bunch of knockout roses for my mother-in-law in that bed and that bed over there. And I have since given them to a friend, because I'm not really too much of a fan of the knockout roses. But and all of these shells were in that spot, and they'll go back when I get it all ready. But my mother-in-law loved the conch shells, and she had a niece and nephew-in-law who lived down at Cape Hatteras. And every time they would come visit, they would bring her 1 or 2. So she has quite a collection of those, and they are so beautiful. They just are so beautiful. And then the rock, or whatever these things are that have all of the little shell imprints in them. And this one over here has just bunches of shells, actual shells in it. But they're beautiful. They'll go back in there. And Hugh said that he's planning on getting my water source up here fixed so that I'll be able to use, I'm not sure what's wrong with it, but apparently it has to be dug out somewhat. So it's a big deal. But when he gets that fixed, I'll have a place to have a hose connected for up here for my kitchen garden, and that will be lovely. Over here, the mums, and I did move these dahlias, and they're pitiful looking because they just didn't want to be moved. So I'll just be cutting them back, and they'll come back up this spring. And this little garden here will probably just be, the dahlias, the mums, and just some annual flowers. Just this one will be truly just a little flower garden. And there's my sugar baby pumpkins. I've been cooking them along. I've got to get them all finished and cooked and put in my freezer for pumpkin pies and pumpkin bread and pumpkin everything. We love pumpkin around here. This bed over here, I haven't finished cleaning him out yet. But back here and amongst the weeds, you can see, yes, we had bought a wisteria for my mother-in-law years ago. And I didn't know it was an invasive species. It's beautiful in the spring when it grows, or when it blooms. And it grows along the little railing back there. I'll get all the weeds out. You'll be able to see it a little better. Because no, I'm not getting rid of it. I think it's beautiful even if it is invasive. But I always kept it trimmed back so it never went anywhere significantly. And then from this side of the wisteria, I'm going to just put in the ground some metal stakes. And I think, and I told you, and we'll put in the rubber mats on the ground, but I think that would be a good place to put his firewood. He wants a big load of firewood over here that will be convenient to the front door. And I think that would be a better place. It would be almost as convenient and look a whole lot nicer than having the firewood, on the sidewalk. This plant right here, I cannot remember the name of it, but it's a beauty. Let me see. Let me get this out of it. Got a vine growing into it, but it grows. It's a beautiful little bright pink bud in the spring. And one of Hugh's buddies from his childhood brought this to him back in the summer last year, and it has grown really nicely. I think I need to probably trim it back. This is called a cardoon, and I'm going to cut him down. He's been wounded pretty significantly, and he wouldn't actually bloom, I don't think, until next year anyway. So all of the rest of this is going to get cleaned out. I think that one, and you can see just there's a little bit of a bloom left on it. There it is. I think I'm going to leave it there. It's pretty in that corner, and it does well in that corner. Just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But all of this up here, it will have the the compost put on it and covered over with the black fabric. And I can't wait till wintertime, because this winter I will plant all of my kitchen garden, all the plants that I'll be growing for the kitchen garden. And Hugh and I are going to build for me a grow room downstairs. Since we've moved up here in this house, I've had a grow room, well, not a grow room, but I've had a growing space on that front porch right there, which worked fine. I've had a growing space in my dining room and built for myself a shelving thing over top of the table with my grow lights over top, and it worked fine. I did that for a couple of years. So I'm ready to actually have out of my living space an actual grow room that will serve that purpose all year round, because sometimes I want to grow early for early springtime plants. I want to grow late in the summer for fall plants. So I would like to have somewhere where I could have it set up all the time and have access to it. So that's the only bed that's ready, and it's finished. It's got the compost on it and the black plastic, and plastic held down, and it will be there until springtime. And that's when I will probably cut into it, plant my little plants. Let me show you the weave. So you can see the weave, and the water can run straight through it. So it's a good product to actually grow in, because the water goes through. But once I have all my little plants in there, I'll put plenty of wood chips on it, and not those exactly, but I just and so the black won't burn up the plants. The wood chips will create just a little barrier to keep plants from getting too warm. Right here, I had decided, I had told you at one point that I was going to do away with these steps. Well, I changed my mind. We've not had use of these steps in about a month, and it really kind of just bothers me. So I started digging this out this weekend, and I've got to go after a little line level. And once I get a little line level, I'll get this cut the depth that I need it, and pour a little tiny footer around there, and then I'll put my block in, and I'll build a form for my little steps. And so then I'll have the steps, but the difference is this opening will be a lot wider because these new posts that Hugh have cut for me will go on the outside of each of these. And then these will come down, and then there'll be a new post, you know, to replace that one, and a new post to replace that one. And then there will also be a post in the middle of each of those. And that's where I'll have my little plant wall. So I'll still have an opening. I'm still having the plant wall on both sides of the opening. So it's not going to be exactly the way that I had thought that I wanted it. But oh well, until you actually take the plunge and you fix it so that it's too hard to tear back out, you can change your mind, right? So I've changed my mind. Look at the kitty cats, girls. Let me take my gloves off because I can't mess with this screen with these gloves on. And here's my glove that Nala chewed the end out of, or chewed the thumb off of. But as you can see, let me see. The kitty cats like it under there. They spend a lot of time in that mulch. Okay, so now this side over here, I've got all the stuff out of it, all the plant life. And as soon as I finish with my steps, I'll put a load of compost in there. I have to get rid of all that dirt, but I'll put a load of compost in here. And then I'll do the same thing, you know, with the black plastic over, and it'll be ready then for springtime. There's my little mints that I saved yesterday morning. And then I showed y'all this morning the little moonflower, and he's done for the day, but there's plenty still coming on. So right here, this guy man, it is just unbelievably hardy. This little rhubarb, the chickens have eaten it. Every time they get out, they come up here and they love this rhubarb. Well, it's in the bad spot because these steps, I'm going to rebuild these steps and lay them up out of block and cement. But they'll start over here on the back side of this, so they'll start right there, and they will be as wide all the way to the edge of the house right there. That's getting ready to be cleaned. Isn't that awful? I hate vinyl siding. But anyway, that's got to be sprayed off and cleaned. But so the steps will be really kind of twice as wide as they are now. And there will only be 2 steps instead of the 3, because this one, obviously being the same height as the porch, can be done away with. So the next step coming down will be the height of this one, and then the bottom step will be the height of that one. They'll be deeper and much, much wider. But this rhubarb, I'm just going to move him over to this empty spot because he really likes this spot right here. It doesn't get too much sun, and rhubarbs really kind of like just ambient sunshine. They don't like being in the full sunshine, or at least that's been my experience. So that's the flower beds. They'll be filled with all kinds of herbs. They will have, of course, you know, some peppers and tomatoes and, you know, just kitchen garden type foods. I'll probably put some a little cold frame over here with some spinach and lettuce in it, so that I can have spinach and lettuce early in the spring and late into the fall. And there's Ferdinand. He's coming over to check things out. And I showed y'all the other day what we're doing with the driveway, changing the pattern of the driveway and putting a whole perennial, raised bed perennial garden over there where all of that's at. And the truck and the car will park down there right in front of the little building where I have all the gardening stuff and the bird food and the cat food and the dog food and all that sort of thing. Well, I had talked about possibly putting the greenhouse, see if I've changed my mind again, putting the greenhouse back in that corner, but instead, since we're going to be moving the fence from that post up there, I can't see my screen, from that post up there over here straight down to in front of this trailer to that post right there, and the gate will go up into that new section. I think, and Hugh said that he didn't think there would be a problem with it. He will take the great big tractor, that big yellow thing over yonder, and he will make this spot right here, dig it out and level it. Hopefully there's not too many big rocks in there, but level it, and the greenhouse will come right here. I think that'd be a good spot for the greenhouse. It will be accessible for multiple projects, and it will be very close to my little water supply, so I can pull my water in there when I need to water, my little hose. And there comes Mr. Hugh right now. Say hey.
Hello.
What are you up to?
I need a tractor.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over there and get that tarp, and I'm gonna dump your mulch on the tarp. Make it easier to clean up.
Okay, thank you.
I gotta move some stuff in the barn.
Okay.
Try to get ready for winter, make room to put everything in the dry.
Yes, we've both been pretty busy this
Hence
week.
all of the wood and everything else we got going around here.
Yeah, we'll be having 3 fires going this winter. We'll have the one from this chimney right here, you can see, and then the one in the back where Aiden stays, and then there's a wood stove in the basement.
Do you want me to dump it here, or do you want me to put it back and bring it when you need it?
No, I'm getting ready to use it right here. But yeah. But anyway, I'll take you over and show you little sister. She's still struggling. I'm 99% certain that she's not going to make it. Hugh has offered to just take care of it, but honestly, she doesn't seem to be in pain. And I'm thinking if she's not in pain, she doesn't need to go anywhere. She can just hang out with me. And I keep right here. And she sleeps on the front porch at night. She comes out here with me in the day. And I make sure to spend enough time with her so that she knows she's not alone. She knows she's not alone. But I will let him do the good thing if it becomes apparent that she's hurting. I know someone had mentioned that she shakes her head. She really doesn't do that very often. She's just started doing that again, both times on camera. So I don't know what that's about. But I'm giving her antibiotic just in case what's going on with her, has any kind of antibiotic fix. Erin's pretty certain that it's just her age. And so she's good. She's hanging out with me. So I think that we have enough projects to keep us busy for the rest of this fall. And of course, in the heat of the day, I'm getting ready to start working on my my art videos, because I promised some of you that they would be ready to release by mid-October, and that's my absolute goal. There goes Hubie with the tarp. I love that man. He puts up with a lot. He really does. Of course I do too. I'm not going to say that he's easy to live with. He's the best. Bests are not easy to live with. But they're pretty good somebodies. Oh well. I guess I could have went down there and helped him. Pull that out. That's all right. He got it. Well, so that is the plan for this front yard right now. And this little spot right here, I have an idea that I might almost like to have just a little fire pit with, you know, just some swings around it. I'm not 100% certain. It makes me nervous to put fire around anything, around a structure as old as this old house. So it may end up going over there somewhere in amongst all of the raised beds. Might make a little fire pit area over there, nice and big. But it would be nice just to have a place to sit and roast a marshmallow every now and then. And I don't know. Just, there he goes. He's going to dump the rest of my mulch. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Or my compost. That's out of compost bin number 1. And yesterday we had a good day. Aaron and Corey came, and Chelsea came up, and we had a birthday dinner for Aiden Connor. That child, he'll always be a child to me. That child will be 20 years old tomorrow, and it seems absolutely impossible. I just remember when he was teeny tiny, he and Kayla both, they were the sweetest kids. And Aiden had the biggest head, and he used to call him Melon Head. But he grew into his head. He did. But he was so cute. At some point I'll pull out some photographs and show y'all, because you'll just ooh and ah. But I'll do a few shorts along this week and show you the progress, and just keep you up to date with what's going on with my chicken baby. But I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. It's a little overcast here. You can see the clouds in the sky. Lots and lots of clouds in the sky. I don't think that we're actually supposed to have any weather today. But all these clouds are making it a little bit nice out here, a little bit cooler. And I like it when it's just a little bit overcast. But anyway, all right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. I love you much. I hope that your week will be fabulous, and I hope that you'll enjoy everything that you're doing. And let's get her done. Love you. Bye-bye.